afternoon, everybody. About 2 hours ago, I just received a news, okay, and you read, hacker broke into NUS, NTU network in search of government research data. That's almost just like my topic, cyber looking for innovation. The very interesting about cyber and innovation is that we always started off by looking at cyber and innovation are two different spaces. Totally different space. Because we built something, and after that, somebody attacked. You constantly hear about, or the previous speaker talking about attacker, attacker, and attacker. So we are talking about one good guy and one bad guy. Seems that the role is very, very clearly defined. But ultimately, that we always ask the question is that, what is innovation first? Because in my space, we groom startups. And innovation basically only means that if you put a value, put a knowledge and transfer it into value, which is money. That is from Jeff Nicholson. Knowledge into value, money is innovation. So if anything that's of no value, is it an innovation? The starting point of this conversation is very interesting because when Jacqueline mentioned about sensor all over the place, and sensor done by GovTech are all secure. Pretty good. But how about the sensor that much closer to yourself, to your home? Is that sensor like this one I carry, reading, that measure my pace, sensor that you wear on your hand, okay, like this Sony Smart Band and Fitbit, all of you wearing. The question is that, are they secure? So in order for me to find out, so team of us said we went out, okay, just drive by and we scan how many of these IoT wearables are transmitting in clear. So just went over to the MRT station, especially those places that a lot of people. So okay, we went to One North. This is the kind of percentage of them are transmitting in clear. Interesting numbers. Okay? And that's basically the number that I'll show you, and that's about it. Not that people in One North is a little bit more secure conscious. It's just that we have more data, and somehow the data is a little bit more accurate. The rest of them is a little bit more sporadic. But we start looking at it as, these are the data that is being transmitted in the clear. What does that mean to individual? Okay, I could be looking at, yes, majority of them are heart rate monitors. Heart rate monitors, I can tell that, yes, your heart rate is beating at probably 89 beats per minute. Okay, what good does it do? Probably nothing. It could be that because you're watching the video on the train and that gets you excited. It could be that you're missing your meeting and you are rushing and you're late and so your heartbeat went up. What good does it do? Practically useless. All right? Maybe I'll be interested in knowing the Korean drama that you're watching right now and what drama it is. I could be having information and pass it to my wife, and that could be a good brownie points. But the fact is that this information a lot of times is useless, and practically useless. So what if it's breachable? No big deal. Commercially, nothing. You'll still buy this Fitbit or Sony Band. There is a value, there is innovation. But we start looking at it is that when I start analyzing data, I basically love hearts. Okay, I love heart. I just love to play with it. I try to control it. But heart is something that, unfortunately, is a pump that's going on its own. It goes on its own mind. I really can't do much about it. And for the boys and guys in this room, there is something that you're probably very, very familiar with. This is something called IPPT. All right? For the longest time, when I was active service in the reservist, I tried very hard to get myself downgraded. So that, imagine that you're 35 years old, you still have to run about 14 minutes, under 14 minutes in order for you to get 1 point so that you will pass. Okay? It's not that I can't do it, but looking at all the young fit guys that are running ahead of me, I hate it. Unfortunately. So I went for all kinds of tests, treadmills and everything, just to find some fault with my heart that I can get downgraded. But all my doctor friends seem to conspire against me. I went for all the treadmills, okay? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, running type, lying down, everything. You just basically come out and say, nothing wrong. By the time one day, one of my friends finally able to say, I think I have a report. I think there is some problem down here. I was very happy with the report. But unfortunately, on the same week, MR. Okay, for those people who know what MR is, basically I move into MINDEF reserve. That means I complete serving my requirement. On the same week, I sign up, continue, because now I don't have to run the test. I'm very happy to serve. It's just that I hate that. But the story is that it's very difficult for me to tell you that how difficult it is to find fault in all this data unless you have continuous data. So I didn't bother about heart for a long time until one day there was this message that came about. Okay, one of my relatives all of a sudden diagnosed with that heart condition. So what do? Okay, the doctor gave him something to just plug around his heart, carry a rate. He will start measuring 24/7 for about a day in order to capture sufficient data. And from there, the doctor will be able to analyze and do everything. It's a bulky machine, so I didn't bother about it until I discovered something that I found. And this is the one that I'm wearing. It's a lightweight sensor, 3-point ECG, and it collects data 24/7 for 7 days on 2 AA battery. I will be able to see all the things about my heart, okay, running on my mobile phone and tracking everything. It was very interesting. The first time I discovered it, I started playing with it, okay, collecting data. And the most interesting thing is that I find the fault within 3 hours, okay, that I took about 6 years to find out. Hey, it's fantastic. I love it. It's a treasure though. So my doctor and I, we were just having fun analyzing all these things and say, hey, you might be having a little bit low in terms of sugar because you measure the heart rate variance. You can tell that. Okay, my knee joint may be having some problem. My spine is not very good, okay, because of reaction of muscle. So you have a lot of information just from your heart analyzing, and all these are open data. So I say it's a treasure though for me to hack myself. Did I say it's a treasure though? Because this information is very, very good, and I can zoom in immediately to see that, hey, there's a portion that's having some problem. By the way, the resolution is reduced, so you can't tell exactly what's the problem. But if you zoom out, okay, you can see exactly, that is the point that when my heart having a small little hole that didn't close properly. Now, nothing wrong with that. What if you start seeing people doing this? Just a Google search. How to trigger a H. And the first one they give you is heart attack. Dr. Google plus the data is sufficient for people to figure out how to do it. But the challenge is not about that, the challenge is that biometric data is your own data. Biometric is your own data. You can't change it unless you change your heart. And that is where the challenge is. You're collecting a lot of data, and if the data is not secure, that's it. It's a very, very serious problem. Luckily, that is something that this guy has done. It is secure right from the chip, so I use it. Otherwise, I won't wear it here for a very simple reason, because you have a whole bunch of security people down here. You will be start hacking between this one and this one. Haha, I know you. It's secure at the cloud, and it's secure at the doctor down there. That helps. Now, with this security, this thing becomes usable. Otherwise, I would never use it. Remember, innovation is about taking a knowledge into value. But if there is no value, nobody will use it. There is no innovation at all. In conclusion, what we need to do, as Gerhard also mentioned, is about mindset, about instinct. Cyber innovation no longer is the thin line between cybersecurity and innovation, but the whole thing together. We have to have an instinct right from the very basic, very, very beginning to know that you need to keep the thing secure. Cyber innovation is together. Thank you.